The other good thing about this year is it's highly unusual for this district. It's the worst one, I think it's less than a decile 10 year, so these don't come along very often. So once again, if you're at the other side of Beacon, you sort of think, well, this is sort of normal, because we get these sort of seasons on a 10-year basis, whereas here it's highly unusual, and I think that's quite a positive, because we'd like to think we won't get another one until the next generation comes along. Unless you cop 2 of them, the next 2 generations don't get any. So that's good. We're close to the coast, so we've got somewhere to go that's quite relaxing and enjoyable, and on the balance of probability, we won't get another season like this, which I think is good. Now today, really what I wanted to say was simply, as I think everyone's been telling you, is just work to a plan. If you've got a plan, you can stay in control, you can retain a bit of confidence with what's going on, and you know where you're going. And all that helps keep the stress level manageable, but also keeps you making good decisions. I think to do that, you really need to really understand your position physically, the farm, the sheep, what you've got, financially, how much cash you've got at your disposal, and that helps determine what your options are. Some of it might not be that palatable, you might not enjoy where you are, and you might find your options are quite limited, but you need to know what they are. You can't make decisions if you don't know what your options are. And as was said before, where are you emotionally? And I think if you're not able to make good decisions, you've really got to sort that out before you do anything else. Otherwise, you're just going to compound the problem. You're business people. And business people must be objective, they must be rational, they must be disciplined, and you've got to be honest with yourself. What's my position in 3 of these aspects, really? And then you've got to be honest with the people you're dealing with. Because if you start telling yourself a few little fibs, you end up in a situation potentially that's untenable. So honesty with yourself and with those around you is imperative to make good decisions. And above all, you've got to look after yourself and you look after your family. That's an imperative. Twynham's laughing. Yeah, good. Okay. Thousands of a drought, but it's really what we've had is pretty much a dry winter followed by a failed spring. It's not a drought. Something grew. And in some accounts, it wasn't too bad what grew, given what we had. But what happened was we didn't get it finished. We didn't get a spring. So it's a failed spring on the back of a dry winter. That's what we've got. It's not a drought. However, these are the phases we go through. Hope like hell it's going to rain. We worry like blazes that it's not. And then we go absolutely mad, crazy, because what do we do now? That's quite normal. But then we sort of get ourselves together and go, right, okay, this is where we're at, this is where it is. Let's make some decisions, what needs to happen, how we're going to do it, let's get on with it. That's the normal sort of phases that you go through. The trick is to go through here as quick as you can, get to there and get on with it. Easy for me to say, but you're the people that are out there on the farms day after day and you see it all happen. And it's not often easy to move through here to there, particularly if you don't do that naturally. Some people are very clinical about what they do. That's just how they are. Some people are quite emotional and they spend a lot of time in these 3. And what I'd say is, if you find yourself not being able to make a decision, not being able to take action, you've got to do something about that first. There's people that can help you. And part of my work is to sit down with people and say, all right, well, let's get to here. And there's other people who can help you do that as well. But it's important that if you can't make a decision, if you're thinking, right, well, I'll just do nothing for a while, I think that should tell you that you're not in the right place mentally to make good decisions. Which leads me on to this next bit. Business is all about good decisions, bad decisions. It's less about right decisions, wrong decisions. What does that mean? Yeah, yeah. So a good decision is what's good for my business. An easy one of these is, okay, there's land next door, they want $1,500 an acre for it. If I buy it, I'm going to put my business at 60% equity. My debt to income is going to be 1.8 to 1. Yeah, that's probably not right for my business. So to buy that land would be a bad decision for my business. 2 years later, land price has gone to $2,500 an acre. And if you'd bought it, your equity would be 85%. So the right thing to do would have been to actually buy the land, but it still would have been bad for your business, a bad decision, because your business is at an untenable level of risk. But in retrospect, it would have been a spot-on thing to do. Follow that? So right or wrong is largely only accessible in retrospect. It's a punt. Wrong, good or bad, really comes back to good business sense. Is it a good thing? Is it a smart thing to do? Does it manage my risk appropriately? So I think when we're in these situations now where it's all looking pretty untidy, it's getting pretty tough, when you make a decision, just think about, is it a good decision for my business? Or am I in this right-wrong decision making? Am I taking a punt? And I think in times of crisis, when things are tight, you've really got to try and concentrate on making good decisions. What's good for my business? They could turn out to be wrong in retrospect, but they still should remain good decisions. Are we having a punt, or are we making a balanced business decision, informed, objective, rational? Are we being honest?